Now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews, brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that every single day celebrates the people who make coastal Mississippi such a great place to live, work, and play. And we also celebrate Mississippi. Hey, listen, if you go to the SuperTalk website and you click on shows, you'll get access to Coast Vue. You'll be able to see that you can go to any of the favorite podcast platforms. I listen to my show often on Spotify. You can see the most recent video. So if you missed today's show, you can go to supertalk.fm and click on shows and then click on Coast Vue. You can see today's show, the video of today's show. You can also see a listing of all the shows in the recent past, and you can download those shows specifically. So if you're not on Spotify, you can get it that way. But what's so cool about what SuperTalk Mississippi Media has done is they've created this multimedia company. So we're not just on the radio, we're in a podcast format, we're in social media, video format, we're on SuperTalk TV. And when you go to the supertalk.fm website, you can have access to all these shows. You'll also see the same sort of information around Gallo's show or Gerard's show, his new midday show, and any number of other shows that we have on this incredible channel. One of them is Steve Azar. You'll see in his show, In a Mississippi Minute, it's the same kind of information there. But one of the things you'll read about him is that it says that he's a modern day Renaissance man. He's written hit songs. He's a recording artist. He's a music producer, a golfer. We've talked about that before, a philanthropist, and now a radio host of In a Mississippi Minute. And the theme song to that show is Mississippi Minute. And Steve wrote this: life goes by so fast that if you blink, you'll miss it. But in a Mississippi Minute, you can take your sweet time. I'm really pleased, actually, to have my dear friend Steve Azar joining me today to catch up and just kind of find out what's latest in his world. But before we go any further, let me just say good morning, Steve.
Hey, Ricky, I love it. I'm going to have to get rid of that Renaissance thing. I didn't write that.
I know you did.
I always feel like, man, I don't even know what that means.
Well, you know what? I know a lot of Renaissance men, or at least people who, are close to being Renaissance men. And you're one of them because look, here's the thing. You're leading on the state level as a music and cultural ambassador for Mississippi. You're literally inside the state and outside the state, an ambassador, an official ambassador for the state. You're a songwriter. How many songs have you written, Steve?
Well, how many good ones or how many songs? What are we talking?
How many songs?
Do we get to define that?
Yeah.
No, man, so many. But I put out 7 albums, a lot of singles around that. So it's been, and I've written a lot more than that. So I was going through demos the other day, Ricky, and I started going through all these, I call them work tapes. I used to lay them down, like I'd play most of the instruments and I just sort of get an idea. And I started listening to those. A lot of those parts became part of the real records. But I've got so many more, and I started going like, what if I just put out the demo sessions, the work tapes? Like, because they sound, they're not going to sound like blown, the size of some of these records you make, but man, I believe it. And I'm wondering it would be something that an audience would want to hear right when it was written and recorded. And, using drum loops and all that stuff and playing crazy guitars and piano and just bass. And it's a lot of me. Mandolins, it's dangerous is what it is. But I started to go, maybe not a bad idea. But I've got a lot of those. A couple hundred of those, I know.
For every, I don't have to be me till Monday and waiting on Joe. For every one of those, there's probably 100 or 200 others that you burn through. But that's the life of a songwriter and musician these days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gotten so different now, and it's what it is. So you got to adapt with the times. Obviously, you and me have discussed streaming to the point where it's bled. We put Band-Aids and stitches don't even work. But no, it's an interesting time and it's a challenging time. And I think that you can take that 2 ways. You can complain and gripe, or you can sort of go, this is pretty exciting. Let's just see how we can use the system to be a positive. influence on your career, and we're starting to figure it out. So I'm excited about all that. So it's been fun.
Well, coming back to Renaissance Man, you've become a music producer for others.
Mm.
You're a really accomplished golfer. You may not think that you're as good today as you were, but you're a really accomplished golfer. You're a philanthropist. You give out. So, to me, a Renaissance man is someone who's sort of mastered many dimensions of themselves. And we know a lot of people who've done one thing extraordinarily well, but a Renaissance man can do a lot of things extraordinarily well. And I think it describes you wonderfully.
I would like to be just the Dos Equis guy,
Right.
Just be very interesting. That's all.
Yeah, you're interesting and laid back.
Yeah.
Steve Azar. Well, I'm in a Steve Azar mood. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it means something, right? I
funny.
get that. I get that completely. Hey, but okay, so where are you sitting right now? DMI, I see this behind you.
So, Ricky, we used to play hoop here back in the day. This is where Keith Williams used to spend time roaming the basketball courts, and Kathy and all them, Keith, when he was a quarterback here. But Delta State, this is the Delta Music Institute. This is Studio B. Studio A will blow your mind. This is still fantastic. Studio A is probably the best studio in the Mid-South. Probably can compete with any studio in Nashville. If not, take them all out. It's insane. And this whole place is where the gym was, where we played intramural basketball back in the day. And man, it's just amazing. So it's my playground. I get to come here and make records on artists. The kid Tyler Tisdale from South Mississippi, Apple. We started his record here, put down all his acoustic vocals down, bass. And his first single last week, She's the One, Apple Music picked it as the top #7 best new Americana song. And it's his debut single, and not bad for a good start. And he's getting thousands of streams a week now there. And so it all started right here. It's pretty cool,
He has a cool, I've paid attention to him, but he has this cool Chris Stapleton vibe to him,
He does.
Yeah.
He's got that burly voice, matches a big old size, big old beard, but he's got a gentle soul. He's not afraid to lay it out thick when it comes to being vulnerable. So he's the guy that every guy wishes they could say that to their girl. You know what I'm saying? But he also has some heavy stuff and just some wonderful lines. He's a writer with substance, and I had to do a tune-up and not an overhaul on him, and I love him, and he's become like a son, and just a great kid. Went to play lineman at South Alabama and realized he wanted to make music, another Mississippi product. So we got a long way to go, but he's got the right spirit, the right attitude, and the right talent. So we'll see how it goes. But this is a full-blown music curriculum. So you can start here. If I'd have had this here, I was a pre-med major. It was awful. It was the worst. And Delta State shouldn't have ever allowed me. They should have said, "Here's the deal, Steve. That's not going to happen." But the thing is, now if you want to be in the music business, you can go to Belmont or you can come here at Delta State. And you've got 105 kids in the curriculum right now. That's a lot in a school. In a certain. You're talking about a certain curriculum. And it's you get a major degree in arts and sciences, and it's awesome. And you get to learn how to be in the studio, what to do with it. You can become a certified engineer with the right equipment. You learn about the road, all the road gear. You learn about copyright laws. There's a record label, Fighting Ochre Records. You make a record. You're working on every possible aspect of the business for 4 years and getting your degree. So anyway, yeah. I've been the artist in resident here I'm on my 11th year now. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed you did your record with Cedric Coldwater.
Yeah, we did it here. Yeah.
So people can go to YouTube and look up the song Coldwater, Steve Azar. You'll find it. And it's really I like the way you guys did the visuals to it in black and white and you can get a sense of I guess that was Studio A that you were talking about a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that was Studio A.
This grand studio. But, it's important. I talk a lot about the Mississippi Delta, that the opportunities for the Delta, we have to tap into that. We have to improve education. We have to create broadband access so people can have the same sort of access over the internet that everybody else has. Because when you do that, when you create mechanisms like the Delta Music Institute and you create things like broadband, then it connects them with the kind of capabilities and the kind of technology that can allow people who might not have been discovered before to emerge, whether it's as a producer, whether it's as an artist or whatever. It's important, isn't it, Steve, that this happened there?
It's extremely important because this is a huge opportunity to be a huge cash crop for us, to celebrate our arts. And there's no way we become the birthplace of American music, and rightly so, because we can sit there and list it, and we can take a month listing the greatest artists who inspire the world of music, change the world here in Mississippi from coast to coast, right? The hills. The bottom line is that if we don't celebrate that and can study that and advance the education aspect of it in every way, then we're making a huge mistake by not doing it. Jones Community College down there, Jones, part of this record was made there too. And, it's a junior college. They can funnel themselves from Mississippi Delta College programs into here. So, you'd like to get them all 4 years, but yeah, it's important, man.
And over the years, amazing things can happen. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk more with Steve Azar and a new show that I'm launching next week. Yeah. And Woo! Steve has let me use some of his incredible music, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation.
Hey South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices. Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. I really appreciate you tuning in and paying attention to these incredible conversations. We're so lucky. We're so lucky that we get to have conversations with people like Steve Azar, who, among other things, is the music and cultural ambassador for the state of Mississippi. He loves this state. I love this state. So when we get together, we just have this mutual love for this great state, and I never know where the conversations are going to go, which kind of brings me to something that came to mind while we were at the break. I posted something about this new show that we're going to launch next Monday, and we'll talk a bit more about that in just a second. And I noticed that our friend Craig Ray, C-Ray, liked it, and it caused me to focus on him for just a minute.
Sure.
And this state is very lucky to have people like Craig Ray involved in Visit Mississippi and the efforts that they are doing to sort of align tourism efforts across the state. He is one of a kind, isn't he?
I call him a point guard because I was a shooting guard, so I knew all I saw was let it fly. He's a thinker, so he'll sit there and listen. For the longest time, it took me to a minute. Is he listening to me? But he's listening so intently that when he talks, it's like the old E.F. Hutton commercials. It's time to listen because he's absorbing it all. But he has an incredible passion for this place, our state of Mississippi, from golf to hunting and the outdoors to music. I mean, anything and everything that can bring in tourism, man, he's all about it. And I've really learned a lot of things that I would have never understood. And moving back home has been very important. When you put on a festival like we're putting the Mighty Roots on Music Festival in Clarksdale this weekend, I mean, I've learned so much about, we got to fill up hotel rooms. Well, here's how we do it. You know, if you got to do that, what does it take besides just bringing acts in and putting production on? Are there ways to help that? And we've learned a whole lot about that. And so we're excited about our first Mighty Roots Music Festival, sort of a take from the Mighty Mississippi we did in Greenville, just moved it to Clarksdale on the farm. And it's going to be pretty crazy. So October 1 and 2. So.
Well, but see, again, it's interesting because the longer you do this gig as the music and cultural ambassador for the state of Mississippi and work with someone like Craig Ray, who, as you pointed out well, has such a great passion for the state. When he talks about, for example, the Blues Trail, the other trails, and being this largest outdoor museum in the United States, and when he talks about that, these are all things that's easy to get connected to and also be passionate about. But what he's taught you is beyond that. What is the economic benefit of doing that? What's a deliverable that comes that we can measure and helps our state be more successful and helps these small communities and large communities alike,
absolutely,
have tourism success because we've done these festivals or whatever it might be.
Whatever, any way to celebrate.
Yeah, it's really cool that
I'm all about Ricky. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Well, you bring up a point. Well, I guess, and I apologize. It's always been in my whole life about entertaining people. Right? That is it for me. How good does it feel on stage and how good can I make you feel? But there's all these other elements that goes into it that gives you that other side of it, that win that you have to have along the way. Now, when I'm playing live, I don't ever think about the hotels are being full. I'm thinking about the people. So I haven't lost that, and I haven't lost touch with that. But it's amazing the importance of it and the support you get. From your border supervisors and your CB, your Convention and Visitors Bureau, from the state tourism, from the MDA. You always want everybody to stay. It's important that we do celebrate the arts and we help out. So they're doing it. They're doing a wonderful job. And, I love being the music and culture ambassador. I've learned so much. And, with C-Ray, it's so funny. He's told me after we became friends, he goes, man, he thought when Governor Bryant made me at first before Governor Reeves kept me going, he said, oh my God, I got to babysit an artist. He was so like, no, please. Right. But we make the joke because we've worked really hard together and he knows I care about it. So I had to prove myself. So,
well, one of the things I noticed is through your show in the Mississippi Minute on SuperTalk, when you talk to these guests, you talk to a lot of people inside the state. I mean, it could be business people, it could be artists, it could be a wide range of people, a lot of music writers, but you talk to a lot of people who are not from here. And it's interesting when you're having that conversation with them, you very much have it in your mind that you want to represent the best of this state to them. You want to make sure, and you're not doing it because you have this official role as ambassador, music and cultural ambassador. You're doing it just because you love the state, and it sends a great message to the people that you're working with. Oftentimes, the people that you're interviewing who may not be from here are involved in some kind of philanthropic effort that you're involved with, and you've met them in that way, and you've come together, and the dots all connect. But your show has really provided you a great opportunity to do outreach, hasn't it?
Oh my gosh. And we talked about it, learning to listen. It's so awesome. When I interrupted you a minute ago, so I failed. But since I'm on this side of the interview, I can be bad again. But Ricky, you're right. I mean, it's amazing. And I love it when they've come, like, done my charity event, or they've been to Mississippi, and they have something to sort of recollect, a great memory, and I love talking about that, and they bring it up. We've talked about this. I can't get Reggie Smith to leave. He wants to be here for a week. He's out with my buddy Johnny McWright, who's basically an inventor, a scientist that built this incredible company called Deltag that, goes and Johnny Seed Coat is his name, puts his coat on seeds. And anyway, I'm not going to start messing up what he does, but they became such great friends, and they go fishing after the Delta Soul for a couple of days. And I mean, I can't get them apart, so he's just one of many. Richard Karn from Home Improvement, he loves Mississippi. Richard Berge, he's on Young and the Restless, today. He'll be on there, but he'll call me later and goes, "How's Mississippi?" He's been wanting to move here, so it's insane that, once you get a taste of it. So it's exciting for me to celebrate that for sure.
I know you are. I know you are. So In a Mississippi Minute can be heard on SuperTalk Radio Thursdays and Fridays, and every single Thursday and Friday, wide range of people. I told you, I like to listen when I'm out working around the house, like outside or whatever. I'll put you on, and I learn a lot from you. I learn a lot about how to have great conversations, and I learn a lot about your guests, and it's good stuff.
I do the same thing for you. What I do is I download. You're talking about download. I'll download some of your shows when I'm flying. Yeah. And they may not have Wi-Fi on board some of these regional jets, and that's the most of the time I catch up on your show is when I do that. That and Dateline. You're like, you compete with Dateline.
Right. I hear you, man. I hear you. Hey, so look, we announced this week that I'm going to be hosting a new show on SuperTalk called SuperTalk Outdoors. I'm so excited about it. For people who listen to this show on a regular basis, you already know that I have a tremendous passion for the outdoors. I've hunted and fished my entire life, and have a place up in the Mississippi Delta, and then hunting ground in Chula and Mentor City, and outside of Sidon between Greenwood and Blackhawk. So I love spending time up there. And so anyway, it's just I'm passionate about the outdoors, so I look forward to it. And what's interesting about the way we're going to do the show is it's not going to be a lot of high pollutant policy stuff as it relates to conservation and environmental awareness and all that. It's going to be a lot about canoeing and hunting and fishing and just enjoying the incredible outdoors here. And from time to time, we're going to talk about something that happens in Washington or Jackson and why it should be important to you. But I'm excited about the show because of my friendship with Steve. And I've talked about this before. He was commissioned by Governor Phil Bryant to write a song about Mississippi. The name of the song is One Mississippi. And Steve and I were talking about, of all the catalog of songs that he's done, are there some songs that have sort of an outdoor flair to them? And it's so interesting, as many times as we had talked about One Mississippi, after having our conversations, I kept coming back to One Mississippi, because if you think about it, no matter how different we may be on politics or anything else for that matter, the one time we can come together is when we're in the outdoors together, where we get in a boat fishing together, or we go hunting together, or we go canoeing together. We just go enjoy one of our great state parks. So I'm excited about the opportunity to have a show that's not focused on the political division, but focused on the things that actually bring us together. And that's why this song, One Mississippi, is so important. So let me check with Kyle real quick and see if we got enough time. We do, Kyle? Okay, good. Let me play you so Steve gave us permission to use the song One Mississippi. And so with Kenny Vest and the team working so hard, we've now got a bunch of different openings and closings and all that for during the show. But I just want to play one of them for you so you can get a sense of it. Here we go.
Putting our differences to the side and talking about something we all love.
And I roll, man, lavish lakes and streams, pines full of the wildest life and possibility. I said, one Mississippi, there's a magnolia tree.
It's SuperTalk Outdoors with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Steve, first of all, I love the song. What we'll do, let's do this. When we come back, we're going to continue the conversation around, Kenny Vest, what a talented producer he is to bring it all together. He said he's listened to the song over 100 times, and he literally loves it. But there's a hope that song actually might become the state song at some point. I hope that that's true. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Steve Azar.
Coast Vue on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Get the scoop on what happened in college football and what to expect in the NFL. Each Sunday on Sports Sunday with Michael Borky. Get the story behind the stats, 8 to 10 a.m. on SuperTalk Mississippi, supertalk.fm, and watch the show on supertalk.tv. SuperTalk Mississippi. We're more than just words. This is where the story of your state is told. Proud to cover the Magnolia State like nobody else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. talking
Yeah.
to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter. Has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
Wow.
all this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on Super Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi.
And now, it's Coast View with Ricky Mathews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on Super Talk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast View. As I mentioned before we went to break, I'm going to be hosting a new show. So Mondays from noon to 1 every week called Super Talk Outdoors. It just feels right. It just feels right. I love the outdoors. I've been involved in it my entire life. And it's a great extension to Coast View. It's going to be playing across the SuperTalk network across the state of Mississippi. And so I'm really looking forward to having a statewide voice for issues that that involve coastal Mississippi. For example, fishing the backwaters and offshore, and this incredible fishery that I think is one of the best in the world. Really, it's that good. And then also sharing my love and connection for the Delta and other parts of the state. The way that we can connect through the outdoors is really incredible. What I mentioned, though, is we played you one of the intros. There are several that all play off of this song that Steve wrote called One Mississippi. And it just fits. It fits perfect. As Steve and I did some brainstorming, eventually we came to the conclusion that song would be perfect. It was commissioned by Governor Phil Bryant, and now it will be sort of the theme song to Super Talk Outdoors. And Steve, you sent me, okay, so when we were talking, you said, let me go back, let me study the shit, let me get the lyrics back in my head again. And you went and you saw that one line that said Old Man River. What's the rest of that one?
It's crazy because I was telling you, I think that I know I've got 2 separate lines about it, but they may be in separate places, and I realize it's one verse. It goes, "And our old man river, lavish lakes and streams, pines full of the wildest life and possibilities." Now that's Mississippi.
Oh, see, it fits. It fits so perfectly. I think of Muir when he said, which I've said this so many times on my show, we go into the forest I go to lose my mind and find my soul. You know, that's what that line that in your song One Mississippi is all about. But the song fits so perfectly. And to the extent that Super Talk and Super Talk Outdoors can play a role in getting One Mississippi in the heads of Mississippians, as it's certainly considered with other songs to be sort of the state song at some point, I would just love it. And at one point, what we'll do is we'll play the whole song during Coast View once at some point, so that people can hear the latest version of that song, which includes bringing, you talked about this before, but bringing the kids in. Now that I've seen it and seen the kids who all know the verses, that's what's so cool about it. I mean, you didn't tell them to learn it; they knew.
No, and I walked in with thinking they all needed, and it was K through 12, right? And it was so beautiful. And I walked in with sheets, and they go, this little 6-year-old goes, I don't need a sheet. I don't need that. I said, come on. They knew every word. They knew it better than me. And I said, how'd y'all know? They said they loved it, and they all love it. So, I think that's exciting. And boy, what would be greater than to have the opportunity to have, it takes a lot. Everybody I just hope that the legislature pays attention to every nook and cranny, because if you turn the corners in every verse, I feel like that it was one of those things that God just sort of said, this is that time in Mississippi where you were chosen to represent your state. You've talked about it. You do it live, concerts and stuff, but diversity is extremely important to me. And I was raised in a very diverse world, and watching my parents treat everybody equal. So I feel like that, I almost feel like that it's a beautiful thing. I got this opportunity, so we'll see.
Well, we get a new state flag. We get if we had. We will have this opportunity to have a new state song. How cool would it be for one Mississippi to become the new state song? But we'll play it at some point on Coast Vue all the way through and make so that the video can be out there for people to take a look at and whatever. I just want to thank you publicly for enabling me to use that song as a theme song for Mississippi Outdoors. And we'll have you on Mississippi Outdoors at some point so we can talk more about that. Your love of this great state and how the outdoors plays into it. You're going to come visit us at our hunting camp this winter. You're not a big hunter, but you love being in that environment.
I grew up fishing and hunting quite a bit. A lot of rabbit hunting. My buddy had the dogs, the beagles, and we loved it. We ate more rabbit at Delta State, I can't tell you. I mean, rabbit stew, fried rabbit. I mean, we had it all the time. But I had to make a choice. So golf became sort of my thing. So you're getting to do the hunting. I'm the brand ambassador for Dancing Rabbit, in Philadelphia. It's been in Mississippi. I've loved these guys. Those 2 golf courses, there's plenty of wildlife on those golf courses, the Oaks, and the azaleas, and it's gorgeous. I mean, I feel like, oh my gosh. So we've just shot a commercial for that. So you and I are both getting our fill. And it's beautiful, and Mississippi's doing it for us. So it's just exciting to be able to do all that. And we're Team SuperTalk, baby. So that's good. Yeah,
we are, and it's so interesting because you never expected to be in that seat. I certainly never expected to be in the seat. No. And now it's all about how can we create synergies that builds awareness of our great state in positive ways. And I'm completely committed to that. I know you are as well. So what a cool thing. So we'll have you on my show, and we'll talk more about that at some point.
I'm so excited about it. I'm so happy. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, man. I'm really looking forward to it. And all the people around me encourage me to do it, especially Ann. It's always important for Ann to like the idea, but she loves the idea. And here we go. We're gonna start next Monday, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So, Steve, we've talked a lot about the pandemic and how it's affected you and all this along the way, but you're kind of back out on the road. You're doing a lot of philanthropic events and whatever. But what's your current status as it relates to touring?
I mean, I'm probably going to play in 2021 by the time it's over, probably about 35 dates, maybe-ish, but probably about 10 big charity events around the country. Just left Michael Eruzione's. I'm about to have OC, Jack O'Callahan. Remember him from Miracle? He was my golf partner. Mike Golick was my partner recently. We were playing against Dan Jansen, and we were playing against Mario Lemieux, Eruzione, Pierre LaRouche. We ended up tying. It was great in Boston. We had such a great time. But OC, I finally got to meet him, and I loved, if everybody remembers that great 80 hockey team, he had a lot to do with the making of that movie. And in a lot of ways, Ricky, OC reminds me of you. And he's had a very successful career, but there's that other side. Anyway, long story short, I sort of thought of you when I met him, which is interesting. But great guy. I can't wait to have him on the show. Anyway, just a lot of fun. Mike Golick picking his brain. He's such a nice guy. Big, they're big old boys. They're tall. He's tall.
They are.
So anyway, just great times. You spend 4.5. You talk about hunting and fishing. Talking about getting away. Golf is that game that you're walking down a fairway together and you're on a green together and you're talking. You got 4.5 hours to find out if you're going to like or not like this person. If you're gonna gel or not gel. That's it. And so hunting and fishing do the same thing.
They do. When you get in the boat with somebody, certainly they can, especially when you're 100 miles offshore, they can certainly get out and try to swim home, but chances are they're not getting out.
To stay married and to be a good dad, and also as much as I'm gone, you have to pick your poison. So hunting, fishing, or golf. So I chose
right. Hey, well, see, people. Okay, look, I'll be honest with you. I'm a terrible golfer, and people used to ask me, do I play golf? And I said, yeah, I play once a year. Well, by the way, I don't even play once a year anymore, but I play once a year to remind myself why I don't play because you can't fish like I do, and you can't hunt like I do.
You were a heck of an athlete growing up.
Yeah.
So golf just never, I mean, seems like you take that baseball swing and do something.
No, it just didn't appeal to me, man. But I mean, honestly, growing up, the one thing that did appeal to me was playing drums. So I played a lot of drums. Yeah. Wow. So, I had a lot of music in my life. My mom was a piano teacher, and
that's awesome.
I never really literally learned to play the piano the right way, but I could bang on the piano. I learned to play by ear.
Yeah.
And at one point got pretty good at it. I can get on the piano today and impress you with 2 or 3 songs, and that's all I remember. It's been so long since I sat in front of a piano. But drums is the kind of thing, as you know, man. Once you feel it, once you played as much as I played, I can get sit behind a drum set of a drums. I mean, and just immediately just comes back to me. What's
going to happen now. We do Delta Soul, and you finally come. You're going to have to get back there and do the All-Star Jam with us.
I'd love to do that. That would be a lot of fun, man. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd have to know what songs we were going to play so I could.
No, you'd have it. It'd be easy.
Get my act together before we did that.
The ultimate jam when we're doing with Darius Rucker, and we do Monday after the Masters with the Hootie Boys and all that. Wherever we go, we do it at our event. Is "Use Me" by Bill Withers. I mean, and it lasts for 15 minutes. We're all up there together having so much fun. So that'd be one. I'd probably just go ahead and start thinking about that.
That sounds good. But man, that's some talented people you mentioned just then. It must be fun to hang with them and play with them.
A lot of fun.
So when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Steve Azar. We'll have the final segment. Just kind of find out what's coming up with his, what's next for him in terms of his travel, what's coming up on his show in the Mississippi Minute, and we'll just close it out. We'll see you after this break.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
SuperTalk.fm has a new look and is more informative than ever with expanded Mississippi news coverage, the latest Mississippi weather, Mississippi sports, and of course, the talk that's important to you. Every show, every podcast, and every late-breaking story. Constantly updating the news the second new developments happen. All in one place. The new SuperTalk.fm.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi. Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Del Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera flips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Mathews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. I always enjoy visiting with my friend Steve Azar. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. You never know where the conversation is going to go. But you're at the Delta Music Institute, DMI. That's the logo behind you. Hey, what I want you to do, Steve, if you don't mind, stand up and move back just a little bit. I want to give at least a video audience a sense of the scale of what's behind you. Yeah, you got your okra? Yeah, you got the okra? The mascot for Delta State? Yeah.
This is a smaller studio board, Studio B. I don't know if you can see the board, but it's here, big old mixing board. But the one in Studio A is from over there to over there. It's insane. This is a great room. You can obviously, can you see? I guess you can't see the drums, everything. There's two sets of drums set up in beyond through the glass.
Yeah.
A big room in there, but it's so wonderful. I mean, of all the things, I was such a big basketball junkie growing up, and of all the things for this to turn into this, we talked about it for many years. Norbert Putnam, you think about, so Norbert was Elvis, the Muscle Shoals rhythm section. Norbert is the one that came in here and had a lot to do with building this. And so it's just fantastic. Opportunity for a kid. If you want to make music your life, you got to come here.
Your interview, I think you've had him on In the Mississippi Minute more than once, but my goodness, man. I mean, the fact that he's still alive and well and vigorous and doing his thing. I mean, the people, the number one hits that he's been involved in and the people he's crossed paths with along the way. And he's still like cool character, huh?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's just, he tells a story about Margaritaville, when Jimmy wakes up and he it's one of my sound bites, that Will pulls out. It's just when he's telling me that, I stepped on a pop top. I had some shrimp on the ball. I think I'm going to call it Margaritaville. The creation of one of the greatest iconic brands, not just songs, but brands in the world.
So what are you doing? Why are you at Delta Music Institute today?
My wife told me I had to leave the house. Really, I'm here because for 10 years, 11 years, I come here once a month, and the kids have total access to me. They take advantage. We work on records, that I may be producing. They're a part of it. I've had some on my song Midnight. The girl, one of the students here, goes, I can play that on trumpet. She did. It's on my record. People can play on my records if it works out. Some of the students here, and then I'll have somebody Skype in once every semester. Richard Trammell, who runs the program here now, had this great idea. And like last year, we had Des Dickerson from Princeton, The Revolution. We had he zoomed in. He's the guy. And then we had Nicole Ehrlich, and she produced all of the Lady Gaga videos that were the big hits. She's won Grammys and Emmys, and anyway, so we'll give them real life. They'll get to meet these people, and they'll give them their emails and who takes advantage and who doesn't.
Right.
But anyway, it's so much fun. I'm not giving it justice by my explanation, but the bottom line is it's full on board music curriculum. You're going to learn everything from the legal side to the recording side, to the live side, to the writing side, every inch, the whole thing.
I mentioned this to you before, but Don Wilson, who is from Gulfport, lives in LA today, and he is the one who produced with Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror video, which, as you know, became one of the biggest videos of its time. And but he's from Mississippi, so I need to introduce you to him.
Yeah,
you ought to see the list of people that he's worked with. You can only imagine. But he's also very forthcoming and incredibly talented, and would love to connect with something like what you do. So I have to introduce you to Don Wilson.
I'd love
to.
Absolutely.
When are you hitting the road again?
This weekend we got Mighty Roots Music Festival. I'm not playing my own festival, but we got a lot of great talent. My buddy Radney Foster, there's Deer Tick, Keller Williams, Tyler Tisdale's coming. We got so many great acts. The Minks. It's on the farm in Clarksdale and Stovall Farms where Muddy Waters lived. In fact, his place has been revitalized, and so we're going to do that. And then I go to Hot Springs, do a charity event, and then I'm on the coast doing hosting the JT show. I think with Gerard now. It sounds like you've told me what's going on. So I'm gonna be there on the coast. I love Ocean Springs. I mean, it's my wife and I. We dig it totally.
So that's actually next Wednesday morning. We'll be at Town Green. I'll be doing Coast Vue live from there, which we did last year. And then Gerard's new show called Midday with Gerard. It's going to be co-hosted with Steve Azar next week. That'll be terrific. So we'll all get to see each other. Super Talk always has a great role in bringing statewide attention to cruising the coast. And I remember last year it was great to see people because we had been all held up because of the pandemic. This year is going to be a record event. But anyway, Steve, we're running out of time. It's been a pleasure to visit with you today. Keep up the great work there at the Delta Music Institute and all the other things that you're involved with. And thank you for letting me use One Mississippi for the new Super Talk Outdoor Show. I'm so thrilled about that.
Flattered.
Yes, sir.
This is one of those songs that it's a blessing to have you want to use it, and that's the whole point of it. So
that's for sure, man. That's for sure. Okay, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Later on, guys.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.
Hey, South Mississippi.